I hear a lot of talk here about G1, G3, G5, G2. Seems like we're missing somebody here. I'm looking at Wing It Bank, G4. I can't imagine. I can't believe you guys are not getting any love from your instructor here, guys. From a regulatory standpoint, it's insane. I'm going to keep talking to Angela every single day about what I'm seeing in your community, and pretty much every day, G4 is sort of rising to the top, in my opinion, for several of the metrics. And so I just wanted to make sure that they're getting a little bit of attention today. We look at here consistency and performance. G4 is consistently performing well financially as well as from a regulatory perspective. I mean, they haven't had any violations in the last 4 quarters. There's only been 1 violation since Q1 of 2019. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And I'll tell you, the better performance financially the banks have and the fewer violations they have, the easier it is to do our jobs as regulators. Our reports are much thinner, much easier to write, and we love these kinds of banks. We don't like to see banks consistently at the top or at the bottom, for various reasons. Banks that are at the top a lot, we've had some issues with banks that have a lot of capital. It's not necessarily a good thing. We've seen them deploy that in some negative ways. We've also seen banks with real high return on assets, and generally that means you're taking higher risk. So what we like to do is see the banks kind of sort of are middling in a lot of these categories. And so G4, they've got good regulatory posture there with the violations. Few and far between. We got strong capital. It's not the highest, but it's very strong. They're not relying on borrowings. They're funding with deposits, which is really good. I mean, all throughout the last 6 quarters, they've had very little reliance on any sort of borrowings. Strong liquidity position. I think they might have the strongest liquidity position in the group. They've got a high degree of liquid assets as well as a very good loan to deposit ratio, about 88, 89%. And the lowest operating expenses. I mean, that's pretty sweet. And I was looking at the expenses related to salaries, and they're sort of in the middle, but apparently working conditions are really good at that bank. And we've seen real life banks paying a lot and getting into trouble. We've seen banks paying very little and being really financially strong. It's all about the culture. So